Give me doubt so I can see my neighbor as myself. Give me doubt so I can lay all my weapons on the ground. When the armor of God is too heavy for peace, give me doubt. Give me doubt.
If you've ever been to the Holy Land, chances are you've visited the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is the lowest land depression in the world, about 400 meters below sea level. It's part of the Great Rift Valley, which extends down into Africa. The Dead Sea is known in Hebrew as Yam Hamalah, the Sea of Salt. It's about 30% salt, nearly 8 times the salt content of the ocean. That's too salty to sustain life. Any fish unfortunate to be washed down the Jordan into the Dead Sea will almost immediately die. Scientists have discovered 11 species of bacteria that manage to survive in that environment, but for all practical purposes, the Dead Sea is true to its name. Why is it dead? Because the Dead Sea has no outlets. Water flows in from Jordan, but there's no way for the water to get out. The water evaporates, leaving behind sediment and elements that make life unsustainable. There's so much that lies deep in the human heart that longs for an outlet. Secrets, traumas, memories, anxieties, old wounds, fresh grievances, hopes, and dreams. If these can't find a way out, they make life unsustainable for us. We need trusted confidants with whom to share them. We're wired for community and connection. Our species has survived only because there is safety in numbers. Our earliest human ancestors on the savannas knew that separation from the tribe meant extreme hardship and almost certain death. But today in the US, we've never been more disconnected from each other. 1 in 4 Americans rarely or never feels as though there are people who really understand them. Nearly 5 out of 10 Americans report feeling always or sometimes lonely. 1 in 5 Americans reports that they rarely or never feel close to people or feel like they have people with whom they can talk. Only 1 out of 2 Americans have meaningful in-person social interactions, like having an extended conversation with a friend or spending quality time with family on a daily basis. And this lack of meaningful social connection is killing us. In the US, a person born in 1900 could expect to live to the age of 49. In 2000, that person's great-grandchildren were likely to see their 77th birthdays. Reaching old age is no longer an anomaly, and that's true for people of every race, ethnicity, and social class. But around 2000 came a stark and dramatic reversal of that trend. For white Americans between the ages of 45 and 54, average life expectancy was no longer increasing. In fact, it was declining, in a pattern seen almost nowhere else on Earth. Much of the decline stems from higher rates of suicide, opioid overdoses, and alcohol-related illnesses, the so-called deaths of despair. Americans are ending their lives at a rate never before seen in our country's history. The coronavirus pandemic has only exacerbated this trend. Suicide is already the 10th leading cause of death in the US, with a 35% rise in the suicide rate between 1999 and 2018. But as COVID-19 brings added economic stress, increased social isolation, the loss of community and religious contact, and new barriers to mental health resources, we'll likely be facing an emotional health pandemic of epic proportions in the months and years ahead. There has never before been a more urgent time than now to talk about mental health and suicide, and to discover new and meaningful ways to bring people into deeper connection and a sense of belonging. This is the life-saving work of kinship and the life-giving work of kenosis. And through this work, we can save lives. And we can create a community in which no one is left behind on the savannas of our modern world. Despite all of our differences, we all share the same pain, and we all share the same calling to work together for the common good.
Give me doubt so I can see my neighbor as myself. Give me doubt so I can lay all my weapons on the ground. When the armor